Hey everyone, it's Andy from Petrolhead, and this week I drove an Audi E-Tron. Now, it was not for very long, so I'm afraid this is going to be more of a sort of initial thoughts rather than a proper review. But if anyone from Audi UK wants to lend me their car for a day, a couple of days, then I'd love to do a proper video. So, what did I learn in a quick 10-minute drive of the Audi E-Tron? Well, when I first sort of approached me, I thought this is a good sized car. It's for some reason I thought it was based on the Q3, which is quite a small sort of SUV. Well, actually, it's a Q5 sort of size, and definitely the bonnet is sizable, so it's quite imposing when it comes towards you. Um, then we had a good old look around and pressed a little button and opened up the charge port, which is always good. It's a bit fussy, but I think it's cool. And if it's reliable and doesn't break, then yeah, that's cool. A little bit disappointed it's not CCS both sides. I can't really see a reason why you would have just a standard Type 2 on the other side. It may be a little bit quicker, need to look into the specs. But really, I just do CCS both sides because having the ports both sides I think is a really, really good idea. It makes for car parking really, makes life really easy, and that would have been a good selling point. Personally, I like charging ports at the rear because I reverse onto the drive and they're both there. But if they're going to be at the front, then stick them both sides. It's going to make life a lot easier for public charging. So what did we do? We just took it for a quick lap of the block, I suppose. It was showing about 195 miles of range, and from I understand that's about your maximum you're going to get out of it, which is a bit surprising considering that the battery size is 95 kilowatt hour. So you've got nearly sort of how you do in comparisons to Tesla, but they are they made this industry really. So you've got to give credit to them, and it's a good comparison. So you're looking at nearly a long range Model X battery size here, and doing basically well under 200 miles when you sort of drive it properly. That's not very good, is it? Yeah, I was a bit disappointed in that. So I then thought, well, okay, if the performance is there, maybe this is going to be a really good sort of performance car because it is an Audi, and Audis are well known for their, you know, being a good fast car. But no, it didn't have the performance either, which is a bit of a shame. So I sort of looked at it and thought, okay, so you're not really directly comparing to a Model X because all the Model X's are quick off the line and good fun. But then I thought, actually, no, maybe this isn't a Model X competitor. Maybe this is more just the perfect car for a family doing the school run, driving to the office, driving to the supermarket, and in that respect, I think it could actually be a really good car. It definitely shrank around me quite quickly, which is always a good thing with cars that are sizable because you don't want to feel that the car's big, even though you want the storage space. But then it rides very nicely. It's quite softly sprung. So if you're going up and down speed bumps, you do you're going over them. It's not like a Bentley where it just sort of you don't even notice it, or a Range Rover. You will notice these, but it's nicely softly sprung, so it's comfortable, no real issues. So at this point in this sort of quick review, you're probably thinking, oh, he's not really selling this to me. But the thing about it is it felt high quality. It's got a really nice feel to the way the doors close, to the controls. The seats were lovely. Yes, I'm not a massive fan of having 20 different screens and all the buttons, but once you got used to that, it'd be fine. And the way, going between reverse into drive, lovely feel to everything. So it's a typical high quality Audi interior, and I've always said it's the interior that often sells cars because that's where you're going to be a lot of the time. You're not going to be looking at the car from outside all the time, but from the outside, I actually think it's a good looking, handsome car, especially from the rear. I think it's a nice shaped boot. Front is just the thing about it is because I'm aware of the how important aerodynamics can be to an electric car. Having a quite a big brick sort of blocky front, it's not going to be aerodynamic, and that's obviously shown quite clearly in the range of the car. If it was more aerodynamic, like ideally like a Model S, you'd get a lot more range for the same battery size. When as it is, it's it's an SUV, so you're sat up and the cabin's lovely and everything's very well appointed. The boot, it's alright, it's not massive. It's got the underfloor storage as well, but that had space for a spare wheel, which for a lot of people is a really important thing, so I can appreciate them doing that. But the downside of that is you lose a lot of storage space if you don't need the wheel. The front was pretty pointless. It's a bit of space for maybe the charging cable, but that's about it, which is disappointing. If you watch one of my previous videos, you'd have seen I really like the Tesla front. I think it's a really useful front boot, whatever. I think it's a really useful space. So you've got a car that's not got the best of range because aerodynamically it's not that great, because weight wise it's not a million miles away from Model X, which is an even bigger car and a ton more space inside a Model X. It's not really got the performance, but then for a lot of people they don't want a high performance car. So personally I think it should have had a lot more range, at least another 50 to 70 miles of range, because the performance isn't there, zapping the battery all the time. But as it is, 200 mile range is actually a very usable range, and I just think as a first car it's a really good attempt from Audi, to make a fully flung EV, and I think there'd be a lot of people very interested in buying them. Tesla are brilliant, but sometimes the build quality lets them down a bit. This is where the I-Pace and the E-Tron are going to just grab customers. If you're comparing an I-Pace to an E-Tron, I think most people would probably go for the Jaguar, but then again Audi always going to be better built than a JLR product, and I've been you do hear problems of the charging and other sort of electrical issues with the I-Pace. So I really it disappointed me on the one hand because it felt slow. I'm going to be quite brutal. The range wasn't that great, but then the build quality was awesome, and I could see it being a really good second car to something like a Tesla Model S, because the elevated driving position is preferable to a lot of people. You've got a lot more sort of high quality interior, feels good. It's for someone coming out of say a Q5 or an X3 or something like that, you go straight into the e-tron and feel at home. And some of the technology inside is really, really good. I've got a little video now of the way that the reversing and 360 cameras work, and you can turn the car and you can look around, and it's really, really cool. Again, it's one of those things that I've not missed not having it, but if I did have it, I'd think that was pretty cool. And obviously you've got all the benefits of buying an Audi. You've got the dealer network, and the professionalism that comes with that, so that's obviously a good plus. So yeah, I really want to spend a bit more time in one. I feel it's a very worthy EV, and definitely if you're in the market for sort of a family-sized EV, and the budget is there for one, because they're not cheap cars. It's going to really struggle, especially with something like the new MG. It's not going to be that much less practical, but it's going to be a lot cheaper. So yeah, interesting one. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this quick little sort of first drive of the 2019 Audi E-Tron. I'm going to try to get my hands on another one and just spend a bit more time in it, do some proper reviews and do like a full walk around. And if anyone from Audi Press is watching this, then please, send me one and get in touch. My contact details below. So, and if anyone's watching this and is interested in electric cars, again, my contact details below. I'd love to help you, get you into an electric car. And please do the normal good stuff. Subscribe, like, send me a comment. Much appreciate it. Anyway, catch you later. Have a good day. Bye.